Hello guys, today I'm going to share with you the exact guide on how to count calories and get shredded. So this is information. This is golden information. As you can see, here's my transformation. I went from this to this in 1.5 years, and then from this to this in 2 months, 2 months only to shred, okay? And if you want to join my school community to make fast progress, I'm talking about a few months, you can click on the link below. Anyway, let's start. I could sell this. This video, I could sell it, but I'm giving everything for free so you can get your goals, okay? So firstly, you need to get data about yourself. I'm going to explain you a few concepts. So firstly, your BMR. What's your BMR? It's the number of calories that you burn every day without doing anything, okay? It's just the calories you burn for the fact of existing. So how can you calculate your BMR? You're gonna ask ChatGPT with this prompt, this one, okay? Calculate my BMR with the Mifflin syndrome equation, with your weight, your height, your age, and your gender. Sorry, and once you get your BMR, so the Mifflin syndrome equation is just a fancy term to say that it's an equation to calculate your calorie, okay? Don't give a fuck. And once you have your BMR, we'll talk about that in a moment. But you need to get up your activity levels and don't cope. You need to be more active. You need to set up your environment and your routines to be more active. For example, all the thing I do is I run. No, I don't run. I walk 20,000 steps per day, and I go to the gym 3 times per week, and I do one session of anything you want. Okay. So for you, it could be I do weightlifting 4 times per week. I walk 15,000 steps per day and I do one session of martial art. I do one session of swimming, anything, okay? And you need to have the most activity that you can have in a week. Why? Because when you have the activity levels of an athlete, you can also eat like an athlete. So you can eat a lot of calories and still be on a caloric deficit. And once you got up your activity levels, you need to calculate your PAL. What's the PAL? It's the physical activity levels, and it's just what I talked about. And you're gonna ask ChatGPT because it's a multiplier, and you apply that to your BMR. So if you didn't understand everything that I said, just remember this. You need your BMR. Okay, I'm gonna show you with my personal case. My BMR is approximately 1,600 calories for my weight, my age, and my gender, etc. My PAL is really high. It's like 1.85 or 1.9, okay? So 1,600 times 1.85 equals 2,950 calories. So that's my maintenance and my TDEE. So that's the number of calories that I burn every day. So if I eat this number of calories every day, I will just maintain my weight. And then you need to cut. Why do you need to cut? Because for skinny fat, you need to cut a little bit first. Now that you have your TDEE, you have to progressively lower your calories, okay? Progressively lower. So imagine I start with 2,900 calories. I might get like 200 calories deficit for 3 or 4 days, but you need to track your weight to have information about yourself, to track your weight in the morning, okay? So and I'm gonna show you. Don't read that. We'll talk about that. Okay. Imagine that you eat 2,900 calories. You track your weight, and then you see that if you eat less, you lose weight, and if you eat even less, you lose even more weight, and if you eat even less, you lose even more weight, and so you can invest in your calories. So imagine that you need to eat 2,700 calories per day to be in a caloric deficit. You need to get your calories, so eat enough protein, 1.8 grams per kilogram, and eat large portions infrequently, okay? I should have put this part after, but anyway, why? Because it's better than eating a little bit all around the clock. You need to eat large portions infrequently. And don't be an idiot. You can spend your calories however you want, but be reasonable because imagine if you eat like a fucking chocolate bar, you're gonna be tired, you're not gonna have a good workout, and it will not be worth it, okay? So here's my tracking sheet. Imagine that my TDEE is at 2,900 calories. I maintain my weight. And then I lower my calories from 200 and I lose weight. So as you can see, I can gain weight, but that's just weight fluctuation. You don't need to obsess over that because it's not really accurate. You need to look at it for 3 or 4 days, okay? It's okay if sometimes your weight varies a lot. It can happen due to fluids fluctuation, etc. So you get my point. And once you reach your body fat that you appreciate, so once you reach a body fat that you're proud of and you have abs, you can you finished your cut. It's okay now. You have a shape that satisfies you. Okay. So congratulations, you got data about yourself, you cut a little bit, and then you got a shape that satisfies you. Now, how to track your calories? Because this is a very, very important part. Why? Because if you track wrong your calories, you may end up in a caloric surplus and gain weight, okay? So you need to be very precise about that, okay? So overestimate if you don't have the exact value. What I mean by that is that you're a teenager, so probably your parents cook for you. Take a picture of your food, analyze it with all the ingredients, for example, chicken, rice, broccoli, anything, okay? And overestimate the value because it could have. So you're secure. When you overestimate, you're secure. For example, you found that this meal right there have like 850 calories. You're gonna multiply that what by 1.2 and you have your overestimated calories. And you have to be very careful and take everything in count. For example, when you cook with oil, you need to count it. When you cook, it's you need to be very accurate. Personally, I don't use tracking app because it's just not enough accurate and it's not really useful for me. So I just use the calculator app, okay? And don't obsess, it's just a metric. Respect your daily calories and don't really think about it during the day. That's it. And then from there, the lean bulk. Once you got your body fat that satisfies you, you need to bulk. And you have to don't fuck everything up and don't panic. You're gonna progressively increase your calories to a point where you have 300 calories to your maintenance and that's it. Okay, you're gonna lean bulk for 1 or 2 years and you have your muscle. And so I think that it's the most effective way because when you dirty bulk you lose time by cutting, and when you lean bulk you don't lose this time and you have a better time while cutting. Okay, so bulk for 1 year at least. Okay, now I've given you all the key information to get shredded with calorie counting. So now I want you to join my school community. And by the way, self-improvement is useless if you don't have a purpose above you. Getting shredded is useless if you don't have a purpose above you. So that's why I preach that Jesus loves you. Goodbye.